You talked about Kenny Pickett, and these are, take a look at his career numbers. It's interesting. So he's had 25 starts in the NFL. He's 15-10. Of those 15 wins, 6 of them are fourth quarter comeback wins. And the numbers aren't great: 15 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. Um, but it's interesting. He played; those numbers come with the Steelers, and people are going to say the Steelers didn't have a lot of great skill position guys. You're talking Najee Harris and George Pickens, and I would say that's comparable to Jerry Jeudy and whatever rookie, Quinshawn Junkins. So, um, I guess the question is, what sense do you get about Kenny Pickett and kind of where he fits into this quarterback scheme?
Yeah, well, that's the unknown. I mean, my impression early in OTAs and what I've seen him, he seems to be, very astute in trying to take care of the ball. And you can see with his career only 14 interceptions, I've seen that he checks down a lot and takes the easy completion, which I think probably bodes well with Kevin Stefanski and why they like him, not to force it into a crowd and turn the ball over. I mean, 23 interceptions last year, led the NFL. The Browns, you know, that was a disaster. And we said it, if they just had adequate quarterback play and great defense, they could have won several more games, especially early in the season. That's when the season went awry, 1-6 at the beginning when they had abysmal quarterback play. So I think that's what intrigued them about Pickett is that he looks pretty well suited for this offense, not try to force it, take the check down to the running back or the tight end. And in the Steelers, the recipe was great defense, and then they managed an offense and he had, the 6 comeback wins. That was one of my biggest criticisms with Baker Mayfield early in his career. It seemed like he never, when they had the chance, led the Browns down for a game winning drive on the last possession. Now he's kind of, rectified it, but he didn't do that too much until maybe at the end with the Browns. And so, that is a good characteristic. But if they're going to go that recipe, really the defense needs to be right back where it was in 2023. And then I think they can win games with a strong running game, strong up front with the offensive line, and a quarterback like Pickett that's not going to turn the ball over. It's going to play it closer to the vest.
Wouldn't you think that's kind of an important thing given this offense? And I mean, you've got Jerry Jeudy, I guess David Njoku. Other than that, again, there's a lot of question marks. Don't put the defense in a bad spot, I guess, is the best way to win.
Yeah, going back to last year, I think the defense in those first 7 games, they played well enough to win in maybe 3, maybe 4 of those games. But the offense they couldn't score over 15 points. And when you're scoring that low of amount, you're putting a lot of pressure on the defense. You turn the ball over. And I think then after a 1-6 start, it kind of affected the defense as well, and they started struggling. So, yeah, I think that's the recipe. And you can see with, Mason Graham, Schlesinger, we'll see when they get on the field. But if those two guys can shore up the area they felt they really need to address, the pass rush, the inside rush, kind of fill in the JOK role and a sideline to sideline linebacker, I think that the defense, there's no reason they cannot get back, to where they were. And then there's your recipe: running game, not turn the ball over, play it close, make the play when need be.